what is your criteria? That's the reason I asked you.
No, but belief is not the criteria.
Earlier you said as soon as you have evidence, you'll know that is the truth.
Then everything has a cause. God has a cause.
No.
But they are arguing. You're arguing. My point is, the faculty is important, but it's not exclusive. You understand what I'm saying?
What else is there?
Because it's not exclusive to Muslims, it's not exclusive to Hindu, it's not exclusive to Buddhists, right? My point
You
is...
could believe you're a man in a woman's body.
There are people who do that.
Yes or no?
That's fine. I'm not
It's not
disagreeing.
fine, is it? Really?
For
It's
you,
basically,
you're not
you both
disagreeing.
are saying it's subjective.
No, my point is, different religions, Islam I respect very much. The Prophet I respect very much.
What's your belief?
I don't have a belief.
He said he's abnormal belief.
But do you not believe in God?
My belief doesn't matter. For me, what I know matters.
No,
Not
but
what I
that's why I'm
believe.
asking you. Do you know God exists?
It doesn't. I don't know.
Okay.
Because there's no proof.
What proof will satisfy you?
Huh?
What proof are you looking for?
You show me right here, make this umbrella fly in the air, something like that.
Some people can do that. So you believe you start worshipping the magician?
No, that's only one
No.
thing. No, here's the
What's your
point.
criteria then? What's your criteria? Give me something that is tangible.
I must have personally realized. So it must be as self-evident as my own existence.
How do you know you exist?
Because it's self-evident.
How?
Because I can walk, I can talk, I can smell, I can breathe. It's self-evident.
Can you do all that in your dream?
Huh?
Can you do all that in your dream?
Maybe in a different way.
Are you real in your dream?
As far as the dream exists, I'm real.
Yeah, but that's a dream, right? Do you know the difference between a dream and a reality?
Because I know the difference. Because
No, but in your dream you don't know.
Yes, I
In your dream you don't know that.
I don't know.
Exactly.
But when I wake
But you're
up-
doing everything, your criteria
No.
satisfies perfectly in a dream.
Listen.
You're feeling everything.
Exactly.
In my dream, I believe I'm the CEO of Microsoft. Let's say, take an example.
Yeah.
Right? I wake up. Your name, sir?
My name's Hashim.
Hashim.
And you are?
I say Hashim. I'm ShreeRam.
ShreeRam.
Yes. Hashim.
And you're definitely not a Hindu, yeah?
I'm not a Hindu. I just have a Hindu name. So when I wake up, right? I ask Hashim, am I the CEO of Microsoft?
No, we're talking about while you're sleeping,
Yes.
not while you're awake.
Right. So
what you just said, everything, for example, everything you said, you're
everything
breathing,
is
you're
relative.
walking, you're talking and all this,
Right,
you can do all that in your dream.
correct. But if everything is relative, there's nothing, no objective.
No, we are not
You
saying,
believe anything you want.
we know we should distinguish the difference between reality and something which is fictional. Okay? Now let me ask you this. Do you believe you exist?
Absolutely.
Good.
It's
No problem.
self-evident.
I'm actually glad you said that
Whether
because there are many
it's-
people who say otherwise.
Whether it's a
Okay.
dream,
So let me ask you this.
whether it's a dream, whether it's waking or
Okay.
whatever it is, there is the entity that's dreaming, the entity that's waking up, the entity that's eating or talking
Yeah.
to you. The point here is not against Islam or Christianity.
No, it's not being against. The question was to you personally. Look,
Because you're putting a question,
Yeah.
you believe in God. To me, that's the wrong question. The question should be, is there objective evidence for God or reality?
but that's why I asked you, what is your criteria? That's the reason I asked you.
No, but belief is not the criteria.
Okay, do you know?
Do you know?
Okay, in order to know something, you need a criteria, right? Okay, let me ask you this. Do you know that the universe exists?
Absolutely.
Okay, do you know how it began to exist?
That I don't know.
Okay, do you know that the universe is finite?
I don't know.
What do you think?
It looks massive. That's all I can say.
So what?
But is it finite or infinite? But what?
Why something massive cannot be finite?
Maybe it is.
What do the scientists say?
But why does it have to be finite or infinite?
No, because you wanted evidence. The scientists have given you evidence, but you still deny that. Why?
But the scientists say, some scientists say it might be infinite.
No, I'm talking about consensus among the scientists who say that the universe is 13.8 billion years old.
Correct, but the consensus...
You see, even with evidence, you won't believe.
No, but that is...
Sorry, you won't know.
No, but...
Astaghfirullah.
Flying umbrella won't cut it now.
Man, you're...
Earlier you said as soon as you have evidence, you'll know that is the truth.
Many of
but
the
when the
scientists don't
scientists...
believe in God. You don't accept that.
No, but we are not talking. No, we are not talking about
Stephen
belief.
Hawking, who's acknowledged as one of the topmost theoretical.
Stephen Hawking is dead.
Yeah, but he said no to God. But
That's
you don't
fine.
take that.
That's fine. But we are not talking about.
Because it goes against.
We are not talking about their personal beliefs. We are talking about the consensus, which is based on evidence.
Right.
Okay.
The consensus based on evidence, according to many physicists, is that there is no creator.
We are not talking about the universe.
So
Can you please stick to one topic?
Because it goes against.
Excuse me, Ram. Can you stick to one topic?
Yes.
The consensus among the scientists is that the universe is finite. Do you now know that the universe is finite?
The consensus among them that it's finite.
Yes. 13.8 NASA. Based on the NASA.
It is only the Big Bang. No, please.
Is there anything before that?
That is if you can solve that question, you get the Nobel Prize.
No, but you don't know that, right?
Even the scientists don't know that.
Okay, you know why they don't know that?
I'm not a scientist.
Okay, so if you're not a scientist, that's why I'm asking you, what criteria, I read what the scientists say.
Me too.
That's why I said the consensus of the scientists, not mine.
The consensus of the scientists is, according to many, is that the Big Bang, right? Big Bang, one of the theories, it's not the only theory.
It's the most accepted model of the origin.
Might change in 50 years, right?
Yeah, but mine not as well.
May, because the Big Bang didn't exist.
By the way, do you know that?
Physics changes all the time.
So on what basis? Wait. At least I'm saying at least on the basis of the evidence we have today that the universe is finite. Give me one evidence that it is infinite.
Because there are a lot of physicists claim there's multiverse.
Give me one name.
I don't.
Exactly, you don't know. I will Google. No, it's your evidence, so you Google it. Yes, but that is not a consensus. It's a hypothesis.
There are so many hypotheses.
Yeah, but this is hold on. The Big Bang is a theory. The Big Bang is a theory. Do you know the difference between a hypothesis and a theory?
Yes.
What is it?
Hypothesis is a claim for something that happened, and then you give supporting evidence to prove that your hypothesis is a fact.
Yeah. So a hypothesis is without evidence.
But in order to make it a fact, you have to have evidence.
Exactly. Then it becomes a theory. So the difference between this multiverse hypothesis and the Big Bang theory is huge. Because one is a theory, the other is still a claim. Do you see the difference now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
so now you cannot lean on just opinions, because in science opinions are nothing without evidence.
No, that's fine. But my point
That's
is,
fine.
even the 13.8 you quote.
Yes, there is evidence for that.
Yes, that's only the Big Bang. Nobody said the Big Bang is the starting point of the universe. It's a point where there is this massive expansion. But there things may have happened before it.
Yeah, but when you say might have, may have, possibly, this is all baseless. It's just claims.
It's not baseless.
Okay, show me evidence then. There was something before that. Go on.
For example, what is the latest telescope they have, right? That can look up to 200 million years from the starting point of the Big Bang, right?
Yeah.
Right? The James Webb.
Yeah.
Right? It can
It's not the starting point, but it's the furthest they can see.
200 million, let's say. From the Big Bang. But physicists are not saying before the Big Bang there was nothing.
Actually, no. This James Webb doesn't see all the way till.
It doesn't see. It sees like the elemental.
You know the singularity, which they talk about. That is actually the beginning, not the Big Bang.
Right.
Okay. So before the singularity, you cannot know, because science operates based on time and space.
Correct.
And before that, there was no time and space.
But even all this you and I are talking, right? It's all words.
No, they have evidence for it. I've told you many times.
No, the words that you're using right now,
Yeah.
you and I. When you say singularity, can you actually experience it now?
Experience it?
Yeah, you don't experience. No.
That is like me saying, can you experience your great grandfather?
No. But
What kind of a question is this?
You define it.
What kind of a question is this?
Using words, but you
Okay, my point here is, sir, I'm not going to. I have to leave.
Yeah, you have to leave now.
Knowing something versus believing is entirely different.
So what you yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. What you believe about the multiverse is a belief. Do you agree now?
Even the Big Bang is just a
By your own definition, that is a belief of yours, which is a blind faith actually, because you have no evidence for it. You just believe because somebody made a claim.
and it's convenient for you to have this casual.
Exactly.
Okay.
You remember how he asked us, show me evidence for God? Yes? All of a sudden he believes in a multiverse without evidence.
I'm not believing.
You went against your own principle. Have you not realized that?
My point.
Remember about God when I asked you? What did you say? Show me evidence. Something that I can see. Something that I can feel. All of a sudden he believes in the multiverse without evidence.
It was a flying umbrella you
Well,
wanted.
if you say, right?
Yeah, that's right, flying umbrella.
My guts, in my mind, in my being, I know there is God. If you say that, I'm happy for you. Go with it.
No, Ram,
Go
there's,
with it.
there's a difference. If you don't know where the universe came from, then the question arises, where...
In my mind, I cannot accept a God. That's my current position. In, let's say, 10 years down, we meet at the same...
But is that based on emotions? No. Then what is it based on?
Please, I'm just telling you, please.
Why would you reject God? On what basis? Other than emotions? That's all I want to know.
Why would you accept God?
Why? Because for me, the most plausible explanation, the most logical and rational explanation is that this universe, which began to exist at one point, must have had a cause. Everything that begins to exist must have a cause. Okay? And this causality cannot be nothing. It cannot be the universe itself because the universe never existed at one point. So what is the other most plausible explanation? You tell me.
But you're in
That's what Hashim using his faculties I was talking.
No, but I'll use my faculties too.
Yeah, of course. Please use your faculties and tell me what is the plausibility.
No.
What is the most plausible answer for the cause of the universe? Go on, give me.
No, but I'll give you the...
But that is pleading to ignorance, not an answer.
Can I please talk?
Yeah, of course.
All right. If everything has a cause, God has a cause.
No. Remember what I said? You didn't hear what I said. Let me repeat. Let me repeat. I said everything that...
Because you say everything has a cause, but God doesn't have a cause.
Ram, can you let me...
Causes.
You were not listening to what I said. I said everything that begins to exist has a cause.
Okay.
Now you heard me?
Yes.
Now answer.
So, okay.
God never began to exist. God is eternal. Because only an eternal being...
You just making it up.
No, I'm not making it up. You're the one making it up about this multiverse without evidence.
Go forget the multiverse.
Oh, forget it now. So tell me, give me a Ram. I gave you the most plausible explanation. You said I don't know, which is pleading ignorance, not an answer.
But you're already making an assumption that God...
I'm not making. I'm saying that's the most logical, rational, coherent answer.
Lot of scientists say that's not logical.
Yeah, but I don't have to believe scientism.
But I don't have to believe you.
I didn't say you have to. I said give me the most plausible explanation. You said I don't know. Pleading to ignorance is not an answer.
If you say God is eternal, I can say creation is eternal.
Give evidence for that.
You give evidence for God.
Because I just said, I've already told you that the universe began to exist and it must have a cause. Now you don't have to use the term God. You can say, I don't know, let's say an intelligent designer. Okay? Let's say a supernatural being if you want to. But the question is this, if you are unable to show me...
I'll show you very simply.
What?
Creation is a quality. You see
Quality?
creation all the time? No, listen.
Yeah.
Please, at least let me talk for a second. You interject all the time.
No, I think you talked a lot.
Right? Because you don't let me finish my sentence. Let me finish my sentence, I'll say...
We let you finish about the belief in multiverse.
Okay.
Until you rejected that as well. But carry on, please.
I'm not going to talk if you interrupt.
ShreeRam,
Yeah. I'll let you finish. Go on.
Can I talk or not?
If you wish to.
Okay, but do not interrupt
Go on.
until I finish.
Okay, no problem.
Creation happening all the time. We born, we die, we grow. All of life happens, right? Creation itself is eternal. So when I say quality, please listen to me. When I say quality as an attribute of the universe or universe itself, the creation itself is eternal. You don't need an agent. So you don't need
You're right.
God.
I'm listening. Sorry, say again. You said creation is eternal.
Creation is eternal.
What is the evidence for that? Huh?
Because it's life happening as it's happening at all time.
But how do you know there was life at one point? Oh, sorry, there was no life at one point. Okay, have you actually studied about what happened after the Big Bang? Have you studied it? You haven't. Okay. After the Big Bang, you know how long it took for the material to come into existence? Matter to come into existence? You've never studied this. So wait, don't make claims about things you don't know. That creation is eternal. No, hold on. The creation of matter itself, if you just believe in, as a scientist, just go upon based on the Big Bang theory itself, they said that it's something like 400 million years after the singularity, after the Big Bang itself. 400 million years, there was not a single atom. So why is creation eternal? Show me. The ball is in your court now, sir.
the fact that elements formed after 400 million ago, maybe it was in a different form of energy.
Where's the evidence for that? Even energy didn't exist.
It can be a form of creation.
Energy didn't always exist.
It can be a form of creation. Creation doesn't mean a physical thing. It can be energy, it can be matter, it can be anything.
So where was the energy? That's the question. What energy was there during the inception of the singularity?
You talk to a physicist and
No, but you're the one making the claim. So the onus is on you to provide the evidence.
okay, so what's your point here?
My point is, don't make claims you have no evidence for.
No, I am just saying creation is eternal. If you can make the claim God is eternal, somebody else can make the claim creation.
You know what? You know how I.
You never provided a reason. You provided evidence.
You know the reason I told you. I said it's based on inference. You know what's inference? So you infer things. For example, I know for a fact that things don't pop into existence from nowhere. Do you agree with that at least?
Yes.
Good. If the universe came into existence at some point, it must have had a cause. Yeah, it cannot be without a cause because this is the effect. The singularity and the Big Bang are the effect, not the cause. The cause is something which happened, must have existed before that.
But that's assuming.
This is called inference. So you come to a conclusion based on the inference.
But sir, you're assuming the universe is finite. How do you know it's finite?
The universe is finite. Everything points to the fact that the universe is finite. Nothing in the universe points that it is the universe.
Nothing.
It's eternal.
In the universe itself can be finite. You and I, we're all finite, right?
Exactly.
But the universe itself can be eternal.
Where is the evidence for that?
Where's the evidence for it's not finite? It's
Because I told you how many times the singularity and the Big Bang began to exist at one point. They were not there all the time. I've repeated this several times. But you're stuck. You know why you don't want to use the term God? Because the only way you can actually get around that is by saying the universe is eternal.
Why cannot it be eternal?
Because you don't have evidence for it.
You don't have evidence for God being eternal.
I just told you it's by inference. How many times have to repeat?
If God can.
If you want me to break it down, I'll break it down for you. Yeah, you can go away, no problem. You see, this is what happens when you start making claims that you cannot back up with evidence or even with inference, then this is what happens. You start eliminating God from the equation, which most atheists like him do, you know? Because anything to say with God becomes like magic. But for them, it doesn't matter if the magic happened with the universe and the singularity. They just popped into existence one day. That magic they can tolerate. You know what the atheists always say? Give us one magical moment and the rest is, we can explain the rest. So your magical moment is no different to other people who have blind faith. Why did you run away? Come back here. I won't bite, don't worry. I will not bite. The reason you keep saying evidence, and when we ask for your claims, there was no evidence. No evidence for multiverse, no evidence that the creation was always there. None of that. But anyway, Jazakallah khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.